Let's talk about Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, this team is starting to find their identity, and they have won their last couple of games. As a matter of fact, they've won their last 3 games, and they look very good doing it, and everything is starting to click. I still have some concerns about the Philadelphia Eagles, but if they can continue to play like this, they can be one of the most scariest teams in the NFC. And let me tell you why. Jalen Hurts last season was a turnover machine. He hasn't been the same quarterback that he once was when Shane Steichen was the offensive coordinator with the Eagles. And we saw what happened last season. Terrible offensive coordinator. You come over, you fire your offensive coordinator, you fire your defensive coordinator, you bring in 2 brand new coordinators. And I want to start off with Kellen Moore. So far, he has done a solid job by getting the right pieces in play and moving guys around. Now, I'm going to say this right here. It's not hard to coach up a team that has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, a top offensive line in the NFL, and Jalen Hurts. Things are supposed to click. That's why last season when they had Coach Johnson as offensive coordinator, that's why you look at him sideways and they were having a lot of struggles, especially towards the end of the season. You now see Kellen Moore use a lot of motion in this system, and you're starting to see Jalen Hurts do a better job and take care of the football. And that's one thing as well. When Jalen Hurts is able to take care of the football and he's able to use his legs and they can run the football with Saquon Barkley, that's what makes everything click. That's the engine of this team. A.J. Brown's going to go out there and win the one-on-one battles, like how he did in week 1 against the Green Bay Packers, and like how he has done in every single game this season when he's been fully healthy. Devontae Smith is one of the best route runners in the NFL, and he can go up there and make some crazy catches as well. He had a beautiful catch against the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday. I love the weapons that they have, and you have Dallas Goedert as well. The problem was this. A couple of games in there, A.J. Brown missed time, especially against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You may go back and look at that game and say, man, they lost that game 33-16. For one, Jalen Hurts always struggles against the Todd Bowles defense. And for 2, he did not have Devontae Smith. He did not have A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith got knocked out of the game with the New Orleans Saints. A.J. Brown missed that game as well. So when I look at it from this standpoint, you have those 2 top weapons and that running back in the backfield, this is going to be one of the most dangerous offenses in the NFL and one of the harder offenses to stop in the NFL. Jalen Hurts just has to be more consistent as a passer. That's it. Jalen Hurts is starting to get comfortable in this system with Kellen Moore, and Kellen Moore has done a phenomenal job of running the football with Saquon Barkley. What was the knock on him in the past with the Los Angeles Chargers and with the Dallas Cowboys? He doesn't run the football enough. All he wants to do is throw the football around. Well, in the last couple of games, they found their identity. Run the football with Saquon Barkley. And Saquon Barkley has been one of the best running backs in the NFL. The man is averaging 6 yards a carry. That's ridiculous. That is crazy. 5 rushing touchdowns on the season, 766 rushing yards. And as the weather starts to get colder, you're not going to want to pass it as much. You're going to want to put the football in Jalen Hurts' hands to let him run around, and the same with Saquon Barkley as well. And it opens up a brand new RPO system. I'm happy to see Saquon Barkley with the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, Giant fans, but he's never played with a quarterback like this before, and he's never played with talent like this, especially with this type of offensive line. We have known this for years, that Saquon Barkley is one of the best running backs in the NFL. He was just placed in a bad situation. Now you're starting to see him with other elite weapons around him and what he's able to do. This kid can carry the offense solely on his back. And I'm happy that Saquon Barkley is finding success. When I look at this defense as well, because their defense was a huge problem last season, especially their secondary. Well, guess what? They have a top passing defense in the NFL. They're right up there with the Los Angeles Chargers. They have one of the better passing defenses. And they have always had a good run stopping defense because of the guys that they have up front. Your brand new defensive coordinator and Coach Vic, who's a former defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. He's a former head coach with the Denver Broncos. Has done a lot of good things in the past with defenses. He's a defensive guru. He's a veteran. He's been around the NFL for many years, for decades plus. But when I look at this defense, they're better. Cooper DeJean can go out there. He's running all around the field. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL this season up to this point. That kid is phenomenal. You have Quinyon Mitchell. He's been up and down, but he's guarding some of the tougher wide receivers in the NFL as a rookie. As his career progresses, you trust that he will get better. You still have Darius Slay in the secondary as well, a veteran that's very good to have around. Now, you look at a guy like James Bradberry, did not have a good season last season. He's been injured this entire season, and their secondary has looked good without him. I think after this season, they'll let James Bradberry go. But to see those young guns and Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean go out there and put in this work, And those guys, they're both rookies. That's what also makes this so sweet. And you look at this pass rushing situation. Last season, especially how the season ended, they cannot go back there. They cannot get to the passer. And their secondary was already weak. You look at their pass rush now with Jordan Davis. He's able to push the pocket. He's able to get to the quarterback in his limited snaps. You look at Jalen Carter. He's able to do the same thing. Jalen Carter has 3 sacks on the season. You have Nakobe Dean, who had a phenomenal game against the New York Giants. I get it that it's against the New York Giants, but hopefully he can build on that for the future. Zach Bond has been very good this season for the Philadelphia Eagles in that linebacking spot. And we also have to remember this as well. They signed Devin White. They wanted him to come in and mix things in. Unfortunately, that never materialized. So now you're depending on Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond, 2 very good linebackers in my opinion. Josh Sweat is able to come off the edge as well. He has 3 sacks this season. And it's not always about the sack numbers. You go out there and you put pressure on the opposing quarterback and you confuse him with defensive looks on the back end, like how they did with Jordan Love in week 1, you're going to be able to win football games. Because remember this as well. The Eagles, they can go back there and they can run the football. Now, this is what I'm concerned about. They always start off slow underneath Nick Sirianni, especially this season. They haven't scored a single point in the first quarter all season long. Now, that's a cherry pick stat. But at the same time, what happens when the team goes out there and they get a big lead? Can you come back from that? Now, the counter argument is this. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. Now, Nick Sirianni, I think that he gets a bad rap. I think that Nick Sirianni gets hated on a lot because he does a lot of talking. He was talking to a fan a week ago. And he was basically bad-mouthing the fan. He's one of those coaches. He really doesn't fit the Philadelphia Eagles type of vibe. He's not a Philly type of head coach because the man can't take criticism because he's going to talk back. I look at a guy like Nick Sirianni. This has to work out. And I'm not just talking about going to the NFL playoffs. You better win this division. You better go to the NFC Championship or go to the Super Bowl. Because this is a coach that went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago and they lost against the Kansas City Chiefs. They were right there and they lost it. This is a Super Bowl roster. I'm saying it right now. Yes, this early in the season, they are a Super Bowl roster. With the money that they've pumped into the backfield with Jalen Hurts and with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown's making a lot of money, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, they have a lot of key pieces on this team. They're making money. This is a Super Bowl or bust team. You can say that's a bit unfair, but it's really not. Last season, they started off red hot. Then towards the end of the season, they weren't the same. And a lot of things went wrong. They could not play defense. They cannot rush the passer. They cannot stop the pass. And they also cannot run the football either. And it opened Jalen Hurts up to a brand new world because with Shane Steichen, they ran the air out the ball with Miles Sanders and crew. They ran the football. They worked off of RPO. You still have some RPOs with Kellen Moore, but a lot of it is just traditional. 5-step drop, read your coverage. You use the motion, dump the football off to that guy, especially if the defender is not following him. And they have those deep threats down the field. I've been very disappointed in Jahan Dotson. I thought that Jahan Dotson was going to come in and be this amazing number 3 option. To just be real with you guys, he may not just be able to play in the NFL. That may just be it. You can say that he doesn't get that many snaps. Part of that reason is because he isn't good. Jahan Dotson is not a good wide receiver. And we saw that when Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown both missed the games. So I think that's a bad trade for the Eagles. But at the same time, they should be able to go out there and win this division or contend with this division. This is easily a playoff team in my opinion. And like I mentioned before, if this team does not go out there and have major playoff success, they're going to fire Nick Sirianni. But I like the defense. I like the direction that they're going in. You also have C.J. Gardner-Johnson as well, who is a pick machine. He's one of the better playmaking safeties in the NFL over the last couple of years. Hopefully he can start getting into a groove. But that defense can just get a little bit better with the takeaways. And they can start forcing the opposing quarterback to go out there and throw interceptions. Oh, this team's going to be scary. Look at what happened last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. They went out there against Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase. They had Jamar Chase in double coverage. Bat the football down, it goes for an interception. And they win that game 37-17. That's what the Philadelphia Eagles should be doing on a weekly basis. Going out there, dominating teams. And they started the game off slow. So for everyone saying that they don't score in the first quarter, in the second half, they're one of the better teams in the NFL. And when I look at the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys, they're no good right now. They're a bottom tier team in the NFL. I look at the Washington Commanders. Right now, that's their biggest level of competition. And on paper, the Eagles may have more talent, but we have to see those two teams face each other. That's going to be a fun battle. The New York Giants, The team went out there and beat the Giants 28-3. The Eagles aren't worried about the New York Giants. Once again, sorry, Giants fans. Well, we saw what happened with Saquon Barkley, what he was able to do to their defense. And when I look at the Detroit Lions, their offense is running through people. How would their defense look long term without Aiden Hutchinson? And I believe right now the Philadelphia Eagles, they are a better team than the Minnesota Vikings. But let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel about the Philadelphia Eagles moving forward in the NFC. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, we want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.